And so, my dear ones, we continue in this beautiful, wonderful new month of January to focus on the basic fundamental principles of spiritual wisdom. Because Science of Mind and Spirit is simply that, the compilation of spiritual wisdom as it was first revealed, passed on, expanded, and bring us to this point now. And so it is up to you and it's up to me whether or not we desire to be part of life's wisdom or not. Well, to do that, of course, you and I have a task before us, and it's a good task. It's a spiritual task, and a spiritual task means that it touches everything, because that's what spirituality is. It's something that touches everything, lives in everything, has a sense in everything, whether we're conscious or not of it. But everything is spiritual, So we can't separate spirituality from anything else or call something spirituality and then something else. It's a spiritual universe, cosmos, creation that we live in. It came out of spirit as spirit's expression of itself in form. That's infinite intelligence. Spirit's expression of itself in so many ways. And so we're looking at this thing called life, spirituality, life, the thing itself. And when we talk about the thing itself, it's like talking about the lost chord. Oh, that amazing, wondrous thing that everybody would love to experience and is eternally seeking until it happens. What? We find the lost chord, the lost thing. You know yourself how delighted you are when you find something that you've lost, even if it is a small thing. And especially when it's a big thing. So we here come together in spiritual community to find the thing itself and to embark upon that journey. It is the Sioux wisdom that is passed on to us, a very simple understanding of this journey. It states that the greatest journey you will ever take is the journey from your head to your heart, from the outer mind that's engaged in all of the senses and what goes on in the sense world, to the inner mind, the heart, that is focused on the interior state of being, the invisible state of being, the energetic state of being, the spiritual sense of being. And I love that. It's very simple, that the most challenging, the hardest journey you and I will ever make is from the head to the heart, is from the outside in, to the deeper inner mind of the heart. And so the thing itself, infinite intelligence itself, is simply the creative power, the creative force, the creative essence, the creative energy, the creative presence out of which everything appears, that is manifest. That's the thing itself. That's infinite intelligence. But having said that, it cannot be confined to any definition or any word. It's more than anything we might describe it as. That's the mystery. And as you know, life, and spiritual life especially, is a mystery to be unfolded. The divine mystery. And we're in it. And that's why we're here in community together to unravel it more and more and more, just like peeling the layers off an onion to get the sweetest core of the center. And so, what it does, what infinite intelligence does, what divine life does, is one thing. It creates. It creates. It morphs itself into something more in its evolutionary state. in its material state of being. It morphs itself into something more. Now, as it is written in the scriptures, out of the invisible comes that which is visible. Everything was once invisible. Everything, every material thing was once invisible. It was just an idea. It was a possible thought floating around wherever. And then there was a connection made to it. And then that connection made to it was supported, backed up. It was accepted as a possibility of becoming a reality. And as the Creator creates, exactly do you and exactly do I. How does the Creator create? It contemplates upon itself, it thinks upon itself, it thinks in itself and from itself, and what it thinks happens. That's what happens in that amazing macro awareness of how life unfolds. Well, we are the micro to the macro. We do the very same thing, and what's the difference? The difference is degree. The question is asked in the textbook of Science of Mind and Spirit, which again is a compilation of ancient wisdom gathered in from all sources. No source left out, all source included, all the sources included, which I love because that's so much richer and so much more emboldened and so much more ringing true and clear as I see it, because you can see the same thing. It's like the golden rule. The golden rule you will find in every authentic religion. Do not do unto another what you would not have another do unto you. Now, I wonder how many of us who embrace that belief actually live by it. Well, I don't know, because when I look out into the world, or even into my own life, it's not always the case, I can assure you. And yet, that's the commonality. It's the golden mean that runs through all the religions. We state it in a different way. We say, do unto another what you would have another do unto you. Treat somebody the way you want to be treated. Simple as that. And so in the textbook, it says, it asks the question, how much infinite intelligence is available to us? And the answer is all of it. And then it goes on to say, how much of it can we use? And the answer is as much as you can embody, as much as you are capable of being open to and receiving. And that depends on what? One thing. How far is your mental reach? How far is your mental reach? Do you have a ceiling on your mental reach? Have you boxed yourself into, well, I can do that, and that's about as much as I can do? Because that's very sad if that's the case. It doesn't matter what stage we're at, what state we're in, we can always do and be more. We can be and do more, do and be more, always, no matter what, because of the nature of our beingness. We are spiritual beings on a very dense three-dimensional planet Earth, having a human experience for a tad, just a tick of the clock in universal time. And yet, we focus all of our energies, it seems to me, on that experience, on being human, to the detriment of understanding that we're also divine, that we're also a spiritual being. We have a spiritual core, a spiritual essence from which we can think and live and move and have our being. Yes, you and I are the space where the infinite shows up. I love that. And not only does it show up, but it lives and it moves and it has its being in you and in me and in everyone. Now, of course, that only means something to those of us who recognize it and agree with it and identify with it and then think from it and feel from it and do from it. It's a decision and a choice. So what that thing itself, the infinite intelligence of life itself does is create. One thing, create. And it's what you do, and it's what I do too. Your whole life is the result of what you have created. My whole life is the result of what I have created, and it's not all pretty, I can tell you. But at least I know how to mend and fix and heal what needs to be mended and fixed and healed. See? How do I do that? I think a new thought. I feel a new feeling. I say yes to a new idea. And I back it up. I back it up. I don't step back from it. I don't let it go. I keep it centered in my awareness of mind and feeling so that I can keep moving on it, moving on it, moving on it. And if I move upon it and back it up sufficiently, it'll happen. You are a creator. I am a creator. All of us are. And here's the thing, bring it down to common sense, earthly daily life and living. There's so much wisdom for you and for me that is available to us if we're interested enough. And then if it grabs us, if we're keen enough to embody it. But to embody something, what do we have to do? To learn the principles of truth, what do we have to do? We have to study. We have to learn. We have to apply so that we can embody and then live from that essence and energy in mind, body, heart, and soul, and in the body of our affairs. It requires practice, study, learning, embodiment, practice. And the practice is the application of what we've learned. And it's never ending. It pertains to every second of the day, every day of the year, all the moments of our lives. Practice, practice, practice. Same way as you get to Carnegie Hall, that old cliche. Practice, practice, practice. And if you start out in anything new, any apprentice will tell you that a long stretch of that gain is practice, practice, practice. What am I asked to practice in this month? The correct use of mind. To practice the correct use of mind. Now, our global intention this year is, has to do with wisdom and vision. Wisdom and vision. We in our community have taken as our theme for this year the love cry, I am, therefore I can. And the I am that we're talking about is, I am an individualized expression of infinite intelligence itself, and therefore, because I too can create as it creates, I can create whatever good I so desire. But I can also sow the seeds and reap the whirlwind, you see. This gift of being a creator can be a blessing or a curse. Equal opportunity, Darth Vader or Yoda, Yoda, Darth Vader, equal opportunity in every single one of us, the best of us, as well as the not best of us, has that line of opportunity right down the middle. Today, tomorrow. Now, our practice is, and our creative process is, to focus on being the very best that we can be. It is written too in our teaching that we believe, and we believe until we know. But to know, you have to realize it. You have to be it. So we believe until we know that the essential goal of life is total emancipation, freedom from all discord of all nature. And more than that, we believe that every single individual one of us will achieve that. To be free of total discord. Can you just imagine that? Of all kinds. That is never to be intimidated again, never to be afraid again, never to desire anything but good again. How wonderful is that? And it's yours and mine for the open receptivity and the work to attain it. That's what we offer each other here. Now, I mean, we're all at different phases and different spaces. And not only are we at different phases and different spaces when it comes to this unfoldment, once I hit close to center, doesn't mean I'm going to stay there, because tomorrow I could be way out in left field, almost beyond the radius that has no line to it. So you see, life doesn't go like this. It doesn't build up like this, and I'm always staying building up. No, it's like this. It's much more circular. So I can be here in the circle, or there in the circle, or there in the circle, hovering somewhere in the circle that has no circumference. By the way, it's infinite. So I can be infinitely away from the center or infinitely close to the center, depending upon what I am thinking, what I'm feeling, and what I'm doing. And that responsibility is mine and mine alone, and yours alone. So this is a good time in our world. It's a perfect time in our world. We have the perfect opportunity in our world to grow into this truth and do what it takes to mend, to fix, and to heal whatever requires it, first and foremostly in myself, and then assist everything else outside of myself to do the very same thing, and not in a belligerent way, demanding way. Not at all. But in a compassionate, kind, loving, caring, serving way. You know, we have to put ourselves out in order to gain good. And when I say put ourselves out, what I mean is stop being so self-absorbed and self-centered in the negative way. It's not all about me. It never was all about me, and it never will be all about me. But unfortunately, as I look out into the world and into my own life, there's too much of the me going on. I call those bouts of the me's. It's about the I am of me. It's about we, not me. Remember that. We, not me. Me is a very capsulated, small, and anxious sort of expression of myself. It's the frightened, egoic aspect of my being. And until you and I can assuage, can calm and soothe the ego, that child state that never received what it needed at the time to feel safe and to flourish and to thrive, remains with us until we take care of it, until we parent it and heal it ourselves. You and I are our own champions in that way. We are our own best parent in that way. No parent was ever perfect, and no parent ever succeeded in raising the perfect child. And that's okay. That's the way of three-dimensional planet Earth. You do the best that you can do is what you do. And there comes a time in everybody's life that sooner or later we have to, if we want to grow into the awareness of our own sovereignty, let the parent off the hook and detach ourselves from the psychological umbilical cord that keeps stopping us and blocking us because we have attached ourselves still to that parent that let us down, failed us in some way. I don't know much, really, and the longer I live, the less I seem to be certain of, that's for sure. But I do know this. Most people are doing the best that they can do. Most people are doing the best that they can do. Most people are really good at heart. But because of their circumstances and situations and so on, their wounds, their cuts, their bruises, and all of that, they don't always get it right. We don't always get it right. And to hammer each other because of that will make it worse and not better. We need to be helpful with each other and see what we can do to bind up each other's wounds and take care of each other in that way and not inflict more. I mean, truly, when you have the power for good in the universe that is greater than everything, anything, and certainly each one of us, available and present to us, all of it, to be used for great good, and we totally keep ignoring it, does that make any sense? We're always going to be in a dense plane, suffering the slings and arrows of it all in our minds and in our emotions. Spirituality raises us up out of that. Spirituality brings to us that sense and sensitivity of the who of ourselves, the what of ourselves, the how of ourselves. And it's very much more than our humanity. As beautiful at times as our humanity is, and it is beautiful at times. And when it's beautiful, there's nothing sweeter. It's just so sweet. As they say in the West Indies, when I was there for a glorious summer, that bad man, that's sweet too bad. And when they said that, they meant this is terrific, great, and grand. And you know what? You are able to have whatever life you want to have. You are able. It's within you. It is within you. Treat a man as he is, says the wisdom of the Sioux nation. And he will remain as he is. Treat him as he could be. And he will become what he's meant to be. Can you imagine if every child on this planet was treated like that from the time they came in? Not as they are, but what they can be and could be and is absolutely fitted to be. The best of themselves. What a different world you and I would live in. So what is it going to be, my dear, you who are listening to this today? Is it going to be, oh, that was very nice, and then off goes the television, you go about the business of the day and you forget it? Don't let that happen. Take something from it. If something jumped out at you and really made you sit up and say, oh, that's interesting, hold on to that, focus on that, and do something with it. And we'll all be the better of it. Because you're great. And you can, because you are. And what you are is the creative force of the universe. And the point through which the infinite intelligence expresses itself in all of its radiant magnificence. Why wouldn't you want to demonstrate that? And I say that you do. And therefore, so it is. And now, Reverend Catherine is back to share something with us that's something wonderful.
At this point in our service, we like to remind everyone of our mission statement to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the lives of all we serve. And we do that by sharing messages of hope and success and love from some of our members. I am so grateful that I can feel hopeful after classes and services with Redondo Beach. It seems like just seeing smiling faces and hopeful voices makes me feel less alone in this strange time. This spiritual center has been a lifeline for me as I live alone and am alone so much of the time. I know we will continue in the lockdown for longer than I wish because of so much sickness, but I still believe I can see some light ahead. Thank you for your messages of love, of hope, and acceptance.
Thank you, Reverend Catherine, and thank you, dear heart, for sending in that sharing. We love to hear where you are and what's going on. and to know that no matter what it is, you're moving through it. And we're here to exactly do that, assist you to move through that. And so now we're going to have our wonderful celebration of the plenty that we have, the fullness that we have. And we're going to be conscious of how blessed we are as we make our gift. And so let's take our gift between our blessing hands and say, I know divine love blesses this gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. And I rejoice in the sharing of my good. And I release my gift. I release my gift in love. And so it is. So it is. And now, my dear ones, what we're going to do is together, with one mind and one heart and one thought, pray this prayer of ours. And we're going to know that it is prayerful energy centered on, in this day and in this coming week, peace in our minds, peace in our hearts, and love in our souls, so that we can be all that we can be and apply all of what that good is. So together, let us say, I know divine love unfolds me. Divine light leads me. Divine life lives in me. Divine wisdom inspires me. Divine compassion expresses through me, and divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. It is good and very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works for all. I move through my days with grace and ease, in peace and love, in health and wellness, in fullness and plenty, and in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself with blessing and in deep gratitude, I know for all life. There is only God. There is only God. There is only God, and that God is only known when you and I allow that God to show up in our minds and in our hearts and in our deeds. And so until we meet again, dear hearts, know that we keep you tightly wrapped up in prayerfulness. We're here in service, however we can be in service to you. And we desire only your good. And so if you need to connect with us, please connect with us. We need to keep reaching out and connect with someone. Reach out and connect with someone. Reach out and connect with someone. It makes you feel better when you do that. I know it does. So we love you. We cherish you. We desire only your good, and we're here for you. So until we meet again, just know all of that and keep embodying the principles of life and let them show up by means of you. So I'll just say farewell the way my wonderful young nephew and niece, grandnephew and niece do.